Imagine waking up one morning, the sun rises just like any other day, but something is wrong. The world outside your window is silent, too silent. You step outside. The entire town is empty. Every single person, your neighbors, your friends, the shopkeeper down the street, has vanished. It was the year 1587. A group of over 100 English settlers full of hope landed on Roanoke Island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. They were pioneers, ready to build a new life in a new world. Their leader, John White, had to sail back to England for supplies, leaving behind his family, including his granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. He promised to return quickly, but war delayed his journey. When he finally made it back 3 long years later in 1590, he found nothing, absolutely nothing. The entire colony had vanished. The only clue they left behind was a single word carved into a wooden post: Croatoan. Another carving, C-R-O, was found on a nearby tree. This was the name of a nearby island and a local Native American tribe. What happened to the colonists of Roanoke? The theories are as dark and mysterious as the disappearance itself. Now we travel to the vast remote heart of Brazil in 1923. Deep in the wilderness lay a small but thriving town called Hoer Verde. It was home to 600 people. They had a school, they had a church, they had a community, built on hard work and hope. But one day a group of visitors arrived to find the town utterly deserted. The scene was beyond strange. It was frozen in time. Inside the local school, a gun was found on the floor, recently fired. On a blackboard, a chilling message was scrawled in chalk: "There is no salvation." The entire population of 600 souls had vanished. There were no bodies, no signs of violence, no clues to suggest where they had gone. What could have driven 600 people to abandon everything they had ever known? Our journey now takes us to the frozen, desolate north of Canada in November 1930. A seasoned fur trapper named Joe LaBelle knew the shores of Lake Anjikuni well. He was familiar with the small Inuit village that thrived there, a place he had always found full of welcoming people and barking sled dogs. But on this cold winter day, as he approached the village, an unnatural silence greeted him. The air was heavy, still. There were no sounds of life, no smoke rising from the chimneys. The entire village was deathly quiet. As LaBelle walked through the empty settlement, a growing dread filled him. He found huts with pots of food still hanging over cold fire pits, some containing meals that had been left to spoil. But the most disturbing discovery was yet to come. The village's sled dogs, essential for survival in the Arctic, were found starved to death, tied to trees. They had been abandoned. An Inuit ancestral grave had been opened, its stones neatly stacked to the side, and the body within was gone. What could have happened at Lake Anjikuni? In December of 1900, a storm was brewing off the coast of Scotland. On the remote Flannan Isles, a tall, lonely lighthouse stood as a lonely sentinel against the raging sea. It was manned by 3 experienced keepers: Thomas Marshall, James Duckett, Donald MacArthur. Their job was to keep the light burning, a beacon of safety for passing ships. But on December 15th, a passing steamer noticed something strange. The light was out. When the relief keeper Joseph Moore arrived, he was met with a scene of eerie abandonment. The lighthouse door was unlocked. Inside, a meal of salted meat and potatoes sat uneaten on the kitchen table. An overturned chair lay on the floor as if someone had jumped up in a hurry. The keepers' beds were unmade, and their oilskin coats, their essential protection against the harsh weather, were missing, but the men themselves were gone. The official logbook offered the only clues, and the entries spoke of a terrible storm, with winds the likes of which Thomas Marshall, a man with 20 years of experience, had never seen. The last entry, made on December 15th, simply read, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." Our final stop takes us to the desolate Thar Desert in Rajasthan, India, to the ruins of a village called Kuldhara. For over 500 years, this was a prosperous home for the Paliwal Brahmin community. But around the year 1825, something happened. In a single night, the entire population of Kuldhara vanished, along with the residents of 83 surrounding villages. They didn't just move away, they vanished completely, leaving behind their homes and their land. It was a mass exodus of thousands, executed in total secrecy. Kuldhara was left as a ghost town, frozen in that final night. It is said that before they left, the villagers placed a powerful curse on the land. They declared no one would ever be able to settle in Kuldhara again. For the last 2 centuries, that curse has held true. Those who have tried to stay the night report intense paranormal activity. Shadowy figures are often reported. People report disembodied voices captured on recorders. An overwhelming sense of dread forces visitors to flee. Today, Kuldhara is known as one of the most haunted places in India. Spirits are said to wander the empty streets, forever guarding their abandoned homes. Did they truly escape, or did their curse bind them to the land in a different way? These 5 locations, Roanoke, Hoer Verde, Lake Anjikuni, the Flannan Isles and Kuldhara, are more than just historical footnotes. They are wounds on the map of our world, places where reality itself seems to have broken down. The patterns are what strike me the most. In almost every case, we see signs of a sudden departure, food left uneaten, tools dropped mid-task, essential survival gear left behind. This isn't the behavior of people who are migrating or planning to leave. This is the behavior of people who were interrupted, taken or forced to flee in an instant by a threat so immediate and overwhelming that nothing else mattered. Think about the sheer scale of these events. It's one thing for a single person to go missing. It's tragic, but it happens. But for an entire community of hundreds, sometimes thousands, to vanish all at once, that defies probability. It defies explanation. It points to a coordinated event, but one without a clear perpetrator or motive. Were these acts of nature, acts of man, or were they something else entirely? Interventions from a force that operates on a level we cannot yet comprehend or even imagine. These are not just stories to be told around a campfire. They are documented historical mysteries that have stumped investigators, historians and scientists for centuries. When we confront mysteries like these, we are forced to look beyond the ordinary. We must consider every possibility, no matter how unbelievable it may seem. The theory of extraterrestrial abduction often comes up. Then there is the concept of interdimensional portals or shifts in reality. Could it be possible that these villages didn't just disappear, but were moved? Another dimension, another time, another place entirely. What if the Croatoan carving wasn't a destination, but the name of the phenomenon itself, a word for a doorway that opened and then closed forever? We also must consider the power of the earth itself and the ancient forces that may lie dormant within it. Curses like the one at Kuldhara are often dismissed as superstition. But what if they are more? What if collective human energy, intense fear, anger, despair, can leave a real, tangible mark on a location, creating a negative energy so powerful that it can affect the physical world? Perhaps these disappearances were not external events, but internal ones, where the very spirit of a place turned against the people living there. These are the frontiers of paranormal investigation. From the misty shores of Roanoke to the cursed sands of Kuldhara, the stories are different, but the chilling conclusion is the same. They are gone. These villages stand as silent, empty monuments to life's greatest mystery. Not what happens after we die, but what happens when we simply cease to be here at all. The evidence left behind only deepens the enigma, painting a picture of sudden, inexplicable departure. Food on the table, tools by the door, lives interrupted in the blink of an eye. Perhaps the truth is that we are not as anchored to this world as we think. We inhabit a small, well-lit room in a vast, dark and ancient house, and we have no idea what else might be living in it with us. So the next time you feel a chill on a quiet night, or hear an unexplained noise in the silence, think of Roanoke, of Hoer Verde, of Lake Anjikuni. Think of the people who were there one moment and gone the next. The world is full of unanswered questions, but none are as terrifying as this. Where did they go? The truth is out there, locked away in the silence of these empty places, waiting. But some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. The real mystery isn't just what happened to them, but it's whether it could happen again.